Here's what I use for my worm composting bin. You can buy these online, Amazon, or at Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. It's a Worm Factory 360. It's a bin system where you can have multiple bins. I have some bins over here that I'm not using right now. Sometimes I've had as many as all 4 of them going at the same time, but I harvested a lot of stuff recently and gave worm castings and worms away to some people, so kind of thinned down the population a bit. And you can see in here, this is a coconut core bedding, and they have some yummy stuff in here, some old broccoli. We have a little worm party going on over here. They are chowing down. And this whole thing is just full of worms like that. They eat pretty much any veggie. They don't like really acidic stuff, not too fond of tomatoes, not good with citrus, but apples, any kind of old peaches, like I got some rotten peaches the grocery store was throwing out, they gave them to me, and put in here for the worms, and you can see, you get gazillions of them. So they will break all of this stuff down and make lovely worm castings that I then put around my trees. And when I put the worm castings around the trees, inevitably there are some worms and worm eggs in there also. And this looks like a mass of spaghetti. It's just ridiculous. Thousands and thousands of worms in here. I started off with 1,000 worms in an order from Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. You can find them online very easily. These are just red wigglers. They are like the best compost worms, and supposedly, that's why they're called wigglers, supposedly they don't do very well outside in Arizona, but I have found that they do. So this is where my worms live when I end up putting some of them outside. Put them in the wells around my tree, under a thick layer of mulch. I usually have some compost in here. You can see there are all kinds of bugs that call this place home. The more I dig down, the more we get into prime worm real estate. Oh, there we go. Alright, there's some over here. And you can see these red wigglers living out here. They're a lot darker living out here, but they do get along just fine. The key really seems to be to provide them with sufficient moisture, and to do that, I've found it usually, we got a whole bunch of them over here, usually necessary to come in and fluff up this mulch once in a while. Get the mulch up and then take the hose and get down inside of there. Well, I just go around and fluff that mulch up once in a while and do that. Get it under there. Oh, seems to be what works for your tree's roots and works for the compost that you put in here. It's also going to work for these worms. These little baby ones over here. So they are doing just fine out here.